Hey guys, welcome back. This is Confusing Bits. I am Corey, and today we're going to be talking about the checklist manifesto, How to Get Things Right by Atul Gawande, best-selling author of Better and Complications. Those are books. But yeah, too long didn't read, too long didn't watch. So this is another one of those productivity books or executive kind of books. I'll just call it productivity books. That could have been a blog post. It's not bad. It's not bad. It just, and it's not even that long. It's like 200 pages long, but could have just been a blog post and been done with it. But anyway, stick around if you want to learn more. It's good. Just watch it. Watch a YouTube video about it. All right. Let's go. Let's do some blurbs just because we need to fill out time because we don't have a whole lot to say about this. Better is a masterpiece, a series of stories set inside the four walls of a hospital that end up telling us something unforgettable about the world outside. Gawande manages to capture, Malcolm Gladwell, this new Gawande manages to capture medicine in all of its complexity, chaotic glory, and to put it still squirming with life down the page. With this book, Gawande inspires us, all of us, doctor or not, to be better. The New York Times Review. There's more. And then we'll just do the first interior blurb because it's that long. The modern world has given us stupendous know-how, yet avoidable failures continue to plague us in healthcare, government, law, and financial industry. In almost every realm of organized activity, the reason is simple. The volume and complexity of knowledge today has exceeded our ability as individuals to properly deliver it to people consistently, correctly, safely. We train longer, specialize more, and use ever-advancing technologies, and still we fail. So, let's talk about the author. Atul Gawande is author of Better and Complications, a MacArthur's Fellow, and a general and endocrine surgeon at the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, a staff writer for the New Yorker, and an associate professor at Harvard Medical School and Harvard School of Public Health. He also leads the World Health Organization's Safe Surgery Saves Lives program, and he lives with his wife and 3 children in Newton, Massachusetts. So as I mentioned in the blurb, this is the blog post in book form. We get those occasionally. One's not springing in my mind, but I know there's more than a few of those in here that kind of was blog post or at least a series of blog posts. This is just a blog post or maybe 2 or 3 part series of blog posts. Not even really. It's 200 pages. It's not really even really worthy of a book. There are a bunch of war stories. The most interesting part of the book are like the war stories. The war stories or the surgeon stories about things going wrong in the surgery room and everything. And it's mostly, this is the most interesting part, but it's also, it seems like the most self-congratulatory parts about how heroic surgery is and blah blah blah, even though he's describing mistakes and stuff, but he's talking about how heroic and complicated and everything medicine is, and he's really kind of playing it up, it seems like, which I get that kind of goes to his point, and it also seems a little egotistical. It comes, at least to me, it comes across a little egotistical about, surgery and whatnot. That was just rubbed me. That's just how I felt about it. I can't describe specifically why I got that feeling, but that's just how it came across to me. But the whole core point of the book is things are really complex, and you should have a checklist to make sure you're handling all of the complexity in a disciplined manner. In the same way that airline pilots have a checklist. So if you don't know this, airline pilots have checklists for just about everything. The most famous one, even if you just begin flight school and you just get your regular old civilian pilot's license or whatever, for private pilot's license, you will do a checklist, a pre-flight checklist. This is where you'll go through and you'll have a checklist. I know because I've done this. I'm not a pilot, but I used to be in a club that was a flying club. And you go around and you have the checklist and you check everything on the plane. You literally do a walk around and check everything on the plane with a checklist to make sure everything. So that's a pre-flight checklist. And then of course the thing running the motors, make sure you got oil pressure set and all of that jazz. And there's a whole checklist. So like there's a procedure for everything. And it's specific to the plane that you're working. So if you were flying a Cessna, you had the Cessna pre-flight checklist. So on and so forth. And the reason why they did that kind of stuff is to prevent accidents, right? Because there were simple mistakes. Things are really complicated with airplanes. And the story from the book is that Boeing came out with a new airplane or whatever, and it was too complicated it crashed on its maiden flight or something like that, on its test flight or something like that, and nearly failed. But the thing that they got away from was even test pilots. It was too complicated even for the test pilots. So that's when they kind of introduced I'm glossing over details, but that's when they introduced the checklist, and it's become a de facto standard operating procedure all throughout the airline aviation industry, including regular old civilian pilots use checklist. So anyway, or at least you're supposed to. So yeah, that's what it talks about. And then it talks about how to use checklists and methods. So it's slowly walking through like him introducing, trying to figure out which checklist, how you know what to put on the checklist, and then how to know that it's effective, and then how to roll those checklists out in a new organization where they're not using checklists, specifically in medicine. So he's always talking about applying it in medicine and rolling it out and rolling it out to multiple hospitals, and then adapting it to different workflows for different hospitals and stuff like that. So he's elaborating on all the details that you would have fucking figured out if you'd thought about it for 2 seconds. My point being, this is the blog post, not a 200-page book. Not that 200 pages is a big book, but anyway, not a bad book. Just, maybe skip it. Maybe, they always get the author to come on to podcasts or to talk shows or something, and they talk about the book. Listen to the author talk about the book. He's going to tell you everything that's in the book in about 15-30 minutes, especially if it's a 2-hour podcast where he talks about Checklist Manifesto. I guarantee he's going to spill the beans on the whole book, because that's all that's there. But anyway, I've crapped on this book long enough. We'll get out another video here, less than 10 minutes. We are just on a roll today. Oh, I got to remember to do this. So this is January the 27th, 2024. Just for reference sake. I've been meaning to do that at the beginning, but I'll have to figure out how to add it to the spiel. So next week, we're going to be talking about the Light Fantastic. And as you can see, the queue will be empty. So that'll be the last time we see me wearing the green shirt for a while. Anyway, catch you guys later. TTFN.